Hey there, and welcome. So, if you hear the words metric system and your brain just kind of shuts down thinking about confusing charts from science class, you're in exactly the right place. Because today, we're going to unlock it. We're going to find the simple key that makes this whole system, well, surprisingly easy. So let's dive in. Does this feel familiar? You're trying to cram all these different words into your head. Millimeters, kilograms, centiliters. It really feels like you have to memorize 3 totally different languages just for length, volume, and weight. It's super frustrating, and honestly, that's not how the system was ever meant to work. But what if I told you there's a much better way? That there's a secret code, and once you learn it, you'll pretty much never have to memorize a conversion table ever again. The entire system is built on one simple, powerful idea. It all comes down to the prefixes, those little bits at the very start of each word. And that brings us right to the heart of it. We are about to reveal that secret code, the universal keys that unlock every single measurement in the entire metric system. You ready for this? Here it is. This is basically the decoder ring for everything. There are just 6 key prefixes you need to know. Kilo, that always means 1,000. Hecto is 100, and deca is 10. Then we go smaller. Deci is 1/10. Centi is 100th, and milli is 1,000th. Seriously, that's it. This is the entire code.
And this right here, this is the most important rule of the whole system. These numbers, these meanings for the prefixes, they are constant. They never change. The only thing that ever changes is what you're attaching them to. So the key takeaway is this: if you learn this code, you've learned the whole system.
Okay, so let's put our new code to the test. Let's see this thing in action. We'll start with length, where our base unit is the meter. Let's see how it works. And you can see the pattern immediately. We just take our prefixes and snap them right onto our base unit meter. A millimeter? Well, that's just milli plus meter, so 1,000th of a meter. A centimeter? That's centi plus meter, 100th. And a kilometer? Well, that's just kilo plus meter, 1,000 meters. See? There's no new math. We're just applying the code. And to make this a little more real, think about it like this. A centimeter is something you can actually see. It's about the width of your fingernail, which means a millimeter, which is just 1/10 of that, is tiny. This kind of gives you a physical feel for the scale we're talking about. And of course, when we talk about big distances, like on a road sign, we use kilometers. And now you know exactly what that means. It's not just some random unit. It's just kilo, our word for 1,000, attached to our base unit, the meter. It's literally right there in the name. Okay, next up, volume. This is where the metric system gets really cool, because it shows how volume isn't some separate, new idea. It's actually built directly from the length that we just measured. It all starts with a tiny little cube. Just imagine a little box that's 1 centimeter long, 1 centimeter wide, and 1 centimeter high. The space inside that box is what we call 1 cubic centimeter. And this tiny cube is our fundamental building block for all metric volume. And here it is, the aha moment. That little bit of space inside our 1 cubic centimeter box, it's exactly 1 milliliter. So, 1 cubic centimeter equals 1 milliliter. This is that beautiful, direct link between length and volume. They're just 2 different ways of describing the exact same amount of space. Now, let's scale that idea up. We know a decimeter is just 10 centimeters. So if you build a bigger cube that's a decimeter on each side, so that's 10 centimeters by 10 by 10, the space inside that bigger cube is exactly 1 liter. See how perfectly it all connects? All right, final test, mass, or what we usually just call weight. And the great news here is, you already know how this works. We're just going to apply the exact same logic one more time.
Let's bring back our golden rule. The math, the prefixes, the powers of 10, none of that is going to change. Not one bit. The only new thing is our base unit, which, for mass, is the gram.
And just look how familiar this is. A milligram? Well, that's just milli, or 1,000th of a gram. A kilogram? You got it. That's kilo, 1,000 grams. We are just snapping our same old prefixes onto a new base unit. It's the same pattern, plain and simple. Now you might be thinking to yourself, wait, I've never heard of a centigram. And you're probably right. We don't really use them day to day. They mostly exist just to keep the system's structure perfectly logical and symmetrical. In the real world, you're almost always going to see milligrams for tiny things, grams for medium things, and kilograms for heavy things.
So now, let's zoom out and take a look at the beautiful unified picture we've just put together. Let's see the one system that, well, kind of rules them all.
This is it, the grand reveal. Just look at this table. The prefix kilo means 1,000, and it doesn't matter if it's a kilometer, a kiloliter, or a kilogram. Centi means 100th, whether it's a centimeter, a centiliter, or a centigram. And milli means 1,000th across millimeters, milliliters, and milligrams. It's one simple code, and it applies to everything.
So the huge takeaway here is this. You haven't been learning 3 different complicated systems for length, volume, and mass. Nope, you've just learned one simple code that works for all of them. You've officially moved beyond just memorizing facts and into actually understanding the system.
And this knowledge isn't just for a science test, right? It's a tool. You've basically unlocked a global language of measurement. So the only real question left is, now that you have the key, what are you going to measure first?